Now, jumping right into the battle here, Daki, what can you tell us about mines?
Well, we already saw it last season. It was a very defensive map. I don't think it's going to be changing that much, especially with the northern climb being practically removed. You have to expose so much to even remotely do it that it's not going to be worth it at all. And we can see the lineups here coming out between the two. Somehow, oops, made it onto my screen, Ryan. I'm confused. So let's not take anything away from that and just focus on the rest of the game. I mean, GoHard, I want to see them break this attack. I honestly want to see them do that because, you know, it is one thing to win on your defenses, but it's another thing to win the attack. It's a lot more difficult, and a team like them should have no issues with it whatsoever. This is like just a question how the defense is going to be from eSuba.
So already GoHard making a push there for the centre hill. We see Kaizu Zafarchik up there with Failware beside him. Probably his point of view here over, he's got the T100 on the island there, facing off opposite against Stefan. Looking now here from Zafarchik, looking down on the hill. So, as we said earlier on, all tier 10 lineups. For anyone not familiar with the UI, we have the team HP left and right. Obviously, we have the reload indicators as well, and if the team isn't autoloaded, it will say like 5-5, for example, 4-4. Vehicle names that the players are playing in. It's a bit different from the normal UI, but this helps it be more easy for people to watch overall as a viewership. PZ7 coming out there as well for eSuba, I notice.
Yeah, something I've seen before already, because that Panzer Kampfwagen 7, the turret is just about big enough to peek over the rock, which allows him to spot the number 2 base and also shoot it towards the island. As you can see, that turret is just about tall enough to get across that. He has to be kind of careful, though, because that tank, the gun mantlet, you might think it is strong, but it is not. Next to the gun is a weak spot, but you can see the angle he has from here. Makes it very easy to control that island position. You can see, though, that eSuba does not have a Type 5, and I guess they're not bringing Type 5 anymore because they're not afraid of a climb. And as you can see, GoHard has no tier 10 lights, so no tier 10 lights that can do it solo. If you want to do the D0 climb, you have to do it with 2 bats, or either you can do it solo in a tier 10 light, and they don't have that. So eSuba has a very heavy lineup, and you can already see GoHard has the same thing. They're just trying to work out how they want to break this defense, but now with the current mines, I think it's going to be very, very difficult to actually make it work.
Annihilator, full derp ammo there, 37 rounds in his Type 5. You see that ammo down the bottom in the middle of the screen there. Equipment then beside it, and then what's that equipment? What's the other one I'm getting mixed up with?
Consumables.
Consumables, that's it. Consumables in the middle, sorry, then equipment on the right-hand side. And above that, the 3 stats that you're seeing is you're seeing the damage done, the damage blocked, and the damage assist. Nothing at the moment, because, well, nobody's really done any damage.
It's going to be really hard for GoHard to break through this. I mean, one of the possibilities they could do is what teams have tried before, is that 1-2 line push, but then you need to push that heavy first. You need to push something down the 1-2 line that can survive for quite a while, because you have Froley, you have Combat, you have Lukin, and then you have Unji as well. Andrew also is in a position where he could get into shooting within 5 to 10 seconds. So you need to bring a tank like that Mouse, like that TIE Fighter that can take the shots, and this is going to hurt. Or not. Unji doesn't go through, but he already did one shot. But like you can see now, Failware is speeding up Zafarchik to get towards the island. And for them, I guess it will be the double 113 and Batshot push down 1-2 line, and then hopefully they can do damage from the top. But if eSuba does it well, they either kill one of the 113s straight away, or they just keep their shots for one of the bad shots and remove him from the game. This is a very difficult push to actually pull off successfully.
So the only damage done so far was a shot from, I believe, Unji onto Coca-Cola apps, and the Mouse taking one right in the face. He took one for about 800 damage there. Uket's now sitting back here, covering his teammate in front of him, and there is the push coming down. Negative is being focused. Wrecked, he got tracked, he gets himself moving again. Next shot's going to come in, they're going to try and focus him down. Gun in the game is something we always talk about. You want to try and take a tank out as quickly as you can. Focus on the next one. Negative gets hit in the engine, and now he goes down. So that's first blood to eSuba here.
Yeah, not really surprised with Negative going down. I said they have to take down one of the 113s, but they have gotten Zafarchik and Failware across, but with Combat in that position, and Unji who can snipe the top of those turrets, I just don't know if it's going to be worth it because Combat still didn't reveal himself.
Failware and Zavarchik moving up to try and kill Froley. They haven't done any damage yet, and Failware is getting punished for this. He's going to be the next tank down. GoHard could lose their second vehicle of the evening
Froley
here.
flipped himself.
Oh, Froley! Easy kill there for Stefan as he rolled off the hill, didn't get the landing square and goes down. Now, Combat finally gets the kill on Failware. Zavarchik stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, and he's going to be the next tank to fall for his team.
Like I said, this is a very, very hard push to pull off. I mean, they even didn't take all the damage on the way, and they still lost negative. Yes, Zavarchik and Failware had to make the play to kill Froley, but there's just too many angles. These E4s have too many shots. Lukin as well, you could see. And then Combat, who didn't reveal himself until the right moment, taking them down. And that's going to be the trend here for Mines. Teams are going to have to figure out how they want to attack this because it's going to be really difficult. You could see eSuba just had all the angles, and there was nobody to punish them from, for example, that zero line like we've seen before. There was nobody there that could make a difference. So even when they took 1-2 line, eSuba wasn't pressured from anywhere else. They could all the guns staring in one single direction.
Yep, this was something we talked about a bit last season as well, how we felt that Mines is, in a way, a hyper-defensive map. Is very the avenues of approach are very straightforward. You know, you have either the middle hill, you have the left or the right. That's it. You can't really attack from anywhere else. The climbs that people could use previously at least gave a different angle. Kaizu's on fire. Man, that is not good. Taking a lot of damage for that. No extinguisher, just had to let that one burn out.
Pretty sure that one was from Unji, and I think that's his 4th or 5th shot this round already. So Unji kicking things off well in the beginning of the season. This is just, you know, GoHard. They can use this time to try and win. It's almost impossible at this point, right? These guys are extremely good at the game, but in a 4v6 situation with no real positioning, it's just not really going to happen unless eSuba makes some major mistakes. So they can use this time to already start thinking about their defense.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the only tank that eSuba have lost is Froley in the T100, which effectively in the previous rule format would have been a light anyway, so or tier 9, so they've not actually lost much of their firepower. If anything, they still have all of it to bear here on the tanks of GoHard, and it's going to be a hell of a job for them to break through this lineup now.
I mean, there's no real opening in this strategy right now from eSuba. There's nothing they can really explore. Lukin is still sitting there comfortably. That gun is actually very decent. I mean, it's not the greatest of guns the tank has, but it's okay. It's like, it's not an E100, right? So it's more accurate, has a very nice alpha as well. So it's a good pick, and you know, GoHard is continuously trading. I mean, Nile can't really do much in that Type 5. Obviously, that derp, it only does so much damage at a time, and trading is not really going to work out. I mean, it's a good start from eSuba though. They need that. But like we talked about, like I said in the beginning of this game, it's all going to be about who can win that attack. Like, who can break through Mines' attack will be amazing for the rest of the season. The team that figures it out how to do it properly will never play on it again because everybody will ban it against them, and that is a major advantage.
I mean, last time it was either people climbing up the 9-0 line and getting the height advantage there to get the coverage from that area and the viewpoint from that area, or the only other times we've seen wins that weren't annihilation of teams were some kind of base play around base 2. So maybe teams might go back to doing something like that, using something like IS-7s.
IS-7s are very hard to pull off still though, because like they can die really quickly once they get out in the open. They're a good hold down, right? But if they're not, then they really get shredded by tanks like Mouse and such. As you can see, by the way, there was only one Mouse on either side, so not too unhappy with that one.
No longer, it's...
we're still going to see quite a few, but it's no longer going to be the 100% dominant tank. That's a nice shot from Andrew. Stefan was trying something, but it's never really going to work out. So good start from eSuba, but I want to see what they have for their attack though, because Mines is one of those maps where you are expected to pick up your defense.
And an interesting point to point out here as well is that you'd said, I mean, it was pretty much unwinnable earlier on for GoHard, and GoHard have really stretched this one out to go to the full time limit. So give themselves plenty of time to talk about what went wrong there and how they can set up their best defense for the next team, not allowing eSuba to close out the game quickly. Give themselves plenty of time to prep, if you like, for the next match. Annihilator, last man standing for his team. But I think Ukets and Overus actually getting the kill, and eSuba take the first round here on Mines 1-0.
But the thing is, like, it looks like not close at all for GoHard, right? By the way, eSuba won the round. It looks like not close at all for GoHard. But when you play something like this, like, it all depends, like, on these few small differences, right? Even when I used to play, like, you play Mines defense was super overpowered at the time. It was very hard to break in 742. You would just be sitting there. And it's really, like, you know, difficult to... You don't always see the things that go wrong. There's like one or two small things that are going wrong and that make the difference. And on screen it looks like it's a total fail, right? But in reality they have a good strat behind this, and that's the thing that some people don't realize, that you need to look for those finer details where is it actually a team mistake or is it just eSuba doing the right thing against it? Because sometimes those very small differences is what makes or breaks. But on stream it looks like, you know, they just got wiped. Even though one or two more luck or better plays, and they win that round.
Yeah, we see that throughout time, previous seasons as well. Like, you see the result, like, a result could end up being like 5-0 for a team or 5-1, but every single one of those matches was like right to the last guy. So sometimes it's a bit misleading as to how it goes. But, well, I mean, this is going to be one of the hardest things to say, like you said, break the Mines defense. Once a team figures it out, then you'll probably never see Mines
It's really
again.
about defenses all around, though. I mean, it is so much easier to defend than to attack because you sit there and you wait. You wait for them to drive into your guns. You have all the time in the world to play around with. 10 minutes. Every second that goes away, it's a second in your favor. But when you're attacking, you always are the first one to get shot. You're always the first one bleeding in most cases, right? So it is very hard to attack, but GoHard, Mines, I think I'll give teams like 2 or 3 weeks to figure it out, maybe even more, because it's gonna be very, very hard. But eSuba, I don't think they can do it either. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, was it Gunrunners that did the YOLO tactic on Mines last season when we said like what they're going to do and they just YOLO'd?
I don't know, like when I was thinking about Mines, I was always thinking something as a double pincer, like, you know, you're pushing over the 3-4 line at the same time as you push 9-0 line with some heavies as well. So you'd be pushing from 2 directions, coming down, trying to catch the guys under the hill. But even that is super hard to pull off because you're getting shot from the island, you're getting shot from behind the rocks as well. The timing needs to be perfect, and it also really depends on the enemy's positions.
How much of that as well depends on the picks, though? How much of that is dependent on taking big meaty armor tanks or taking the kind of average all-rounder tanks?
No, you would take like Mouses or something to push down 3-4 though, or like Mouse and Type 5. Because those are the kind of tanks that can survive a push like that, and then something quicker around the outside, like 113s, 5As, tanks like that. Maybe even the IS-7 because of the HP, but the timing needs to be right and need to be semi-lucky.
Semi-lucky. Okay. Now the teams are going to switch positions now. We're going to see GoHard on the defense. We're going to see eSuba on the attack. You just said earlier on you don't really think that eSuba is going to...
They can always prove me wrong, right?
Potentially true, but...
They can play with soul.
Indeed, yes, play with soul, their motto. Their motto for GoHard being tank better, you can see it on the side of their tanks. And, well, a Sheridan there coming out for GoHard.
Well, the Sheridan depends on if he's playing with the stock gun or the...
an artillery there for
Conqueror GC. Yeah, this is something we already saw, though. Navi brought it out. It is a thing that can work, and it's also a thing that makes playing...
Oh.
That's the long reload for the Sheridan. Yeah, he has the derp. He has the derp gun.
Trying to get the quick derp at the start.
Well, the derp has a few advantages that it can like still shred bat shots really hard. So that's good. But like talking about already the GC,
it's off reload now.
Yeah, it's the thing that you won't be seeing so many already on defense anymore, because if the attacker brings an artillery like a GC and you're playing with a GC as well, for example, it is actually very hard for you to play with that arty, because Mines is a very close quarter map. If the defender plays with an artillery, he can have 2 or 3 positions, right? He can have K3, he can have K8, K9 behind those buildings, but that's all very easily counterable.
Safarchik getting shot there from Unji, down to a 1-shot now, manages to get himself safe just ever so slightly. Now, when combat shot from the gun carriage earlier on, he did connect a little bit into Kaizu there, who got stunned. You could see that by the down arrow beside his name, which indicated that his crew were stunned. And, well, it's not a great start here for Zafarchik. Missing a shot. And
ooh, Artie. That's Artie for 262 coming out as well. Combat. That's the thing. This GC doesn't need to hit very close to you to do damage. And that's why I'm not really like super confident in the stance that GoHard has right now.
He's dead as soon as that's off reload, isn't he?
No, not necessarily, because he's going to be hugging the red line. So unless Combat puts his shot further than he usually would, or it lands further, he's not going to be killing him. But like this Sheridan pick for that first shot, I don't know if that's worth it. Like this shot needs to land like outside circle. If it lands on the very edge, he will kill him.
He's shot. No. That's the smart move, actually, to go against the red line.
Well, it's a thing that might be figured out at one point, but it's going to take a while. I don't know if I really like the positions from GoHard, though, because playing against Artie is always very hard, but they seem to just be playing their standard, and sometimes playing your standard is the worst thing against an artillery like this, because like this Artie is going to move. This Artie is going to move to E1 at one point and start putting shells into the back of Coca-Cola, into the back of Stefan. So I don't know. I want to see what Combat can do, because he needs to do like 3 or 4k damage in this round to be effective, to be really worth, because his entire team is playing around him. Like everybody on the team is trying to make his tank work, so he needs to make that pay off.
I see Andrew taking a shot there as well. In the back chat 25, he's up on the island at round about E2 area, so maybe somebody from the middle, I guess, shooting from the middle area. Try and get a shot negative there over the rocks.
Even if he hits the top of the rock, he will splash him for 100 or 200. I mean,
making use of the alternative view mode.
He has an angle towards the engine deck, but it's probably going to hit, yeah, on the top.
Into the wall and stunned him. Only stun him for a little bit. It depends how much of your vehicle is visible, depending on how long the stun lasts for.
It's minimum stun.
Behind hard game. It has to be 2 meters of cover as well.
It's a minimum stun no matter what. No matter how, if he hits him for 0, it will still be stunned for a certain amount of time.
Now you can see here a viewpoint of Coca-Cola apps as he's trading off, trying to get shots onto Overus. This is his point of view as a player. We're looking here at Failware. He's dancing about in the bush earlier on where, well, Zafarchik got hit, and Zafarchik's now moving out of position as well, coming over to the island to back up Kaizu from the looks of it. Yeah,
Kaizu just got hit by Artie as well. You don't want to peek against the GC. They need to minimize Combat's impact, but when Kaizu is speaking like that and giving him the second shot already, I think, or the third shot, then you're starting to make this Artie work. Now Kaizu is 816 HP. If he takes this shot from Artie, any tank, that will put him towards that one-shot radius. So it's going to be very hard for him to survive. He needs to play a lot more passive. And if you can see, like, there's a big weak spot. There's a big weak spot in this defense now from GoHard. Kaizu and Zafarchik. One of them's one shot, the other one's a 2-shot, pretty much. It's a very big opening.
Coca-Cola app's now been hit by artillery, losing his commander, being tracked and sitting there with the stun.
He probably does not. He does have a medkit. Okay.
Now, I was going to say, are they going to try and set up for a climb? But they've only got one batch out over there. So what's the plan? They're going to be doing some kind of rush in the second tier, Daki down 8-9 line?
Well, I'm looking at Frawley's positioning, and he's going to do the pincer that I talked about. He's pushing the 3-4 line. He's going to push forward, probably. I hope so, at least. And then maybe they'll come with 2 WZs from the other side. Frawley backing off. Feels bad, man. I want him to push towards that rock in front of you, as you can see, because from there he can shoot towards the top of Coca-Cola apps and actually, you know, be annoying.
Looks like they're perhaps just waiting to time up everything together. They have Lucan and I think it's Ukets that are over there beside him. Yep, Bungie's up on the hill. Andrew over on the island with Combat right beside him. Another
Coca-Cola just lost his commander again. I don't think his medkit has been coming off cooldown yet. 90 seconds, obviously. He'll have like 30 seconds left, I guess, at this point, somewhere around there.
Proxy spotted by Unji up on the hill above him the entire time, so it must be extremely frustrating for him.
I really like this from eSuba, though. They're showing a great deal of patience. I think Frawley is finally going, though, and that will spark the reaction at the same time from the tanks on the 9-0 line. That's the thing, is Frawley can get there without taking too much damage, and then the WZs need to push up and catch him from the side. Like, this is the rock I'm talking about. He can now sit here and freely bully these guys, but he needs those other tanks to come into the side right now.
Oh. Annihilator and Failware getting double stunned there as Artie popped a shot over into them, so that means the rest of the tanks are coming down here. Ukets looks like the one they were trying to focus at the minute. He's getting shot at again, second shot going into him. Overus gets tracked and stops dead there, Looking coming around behind him. Overus is trying to block for his friends. Ukets is trying to get the damage out using his 2 heavies in front of him, but they're taking a bit of a punishment here from the double mouse. Now Negative on the other side is on fire, it looks like. You can see the health chipping down there on him. Coca-Cola taking a little bit of damage
behind as well.
Unji coming down off the cliff now to try and jump onto Negative.
Well, they do get him. Overus picks that up. Unji now from the flank. He needs to keep going. He needs to get on the side of these mouses because Coca-Cola and Stefan are alone.
Duquettes continue to take damage here, so the two mouse of Stefan and Coca-Cola are trading here, but they're not trading in their favour. Unji's coming round behind him. Slight bit of help, but he does get the kill on Coca-Cola. This means the rest of these tanks can now turn out and focus their guns onto Stefan. We were talking about all it needs is a team to be able to break mines. It looks like straight away eSuba are showing us exactly how to do that.
It seems like the pincer I was talking beforehand was indeed the correct play to do it. That feels good. That feels good, man. It's not exactly how I would have done it, but it's like, you know, maybe even better. Unji dropping off from the hill is a risky thing, though. Like, it is a really risky thing, because if Niall is like slightly different position, he might give him a shot, or like the Sheridan is like aiming there, something like that. That can always go wrong. But they made it work very well, though, and you can see the isolation there on those two mouses. It's what I was talking about. If you push 3-4 line and you push 9-0 line at the same time, then you create an isolation. Tanks cannot provide fire onto those houses. Niall cannot shoot towards his houses. He's done. This is over already. I mean, look at it.
eSuba not even losing a tank on Mine's attack after winning their defense round as well. So 2-0 eSuba, and well, once
That's
again...
great play. That was honestly very, very well played from eSuba, and very disappointing from GoHard. I mean, this is going to be the team that we're going to be super critical of the entire season.
Yes, because they're the team that, on paper,
if you make these,
have the kills.
If you make these roster changes, you have to expect that everybody's going to be looking at you, and this is not the start that they were looking for whatsoever. But this 3-4 line, 9-0 at the same time, you could see what it did. You have those two tanks under the hill that are just like isolated. Like if they drive backwards, you have Artie over there, you have Froley over there, right? If you drive forwards, well, you have double WZ and Ukets over there as well. I feel like eSuba, Andrew's position, I don't think he really contributed much to that battle. He was in a bad shot on the 1-2 line. I think they should have maybe used him better.
Yeah.
Because now they had only 4 tanks versus 2 mouse, which is still a very hard thing to do, right? Unji came in, really saved the day. I think Negative's play was, honestly, that was not worth it at all. He's going to take 2 shots no matter what.
It's a bit of a negative factor for GoHard.
It wasn't very positive. But like, he's going to take 2 shots from the mouse. No matter what happens, he takes 2 shots from the mouse on the crossing. So that's half HP. If any of the WZs hit him while he's moving as well, which he's not going to hit in return, right?
Yeah.
It's RNG. Then he's 800 HP. I don't understand that play. Those mouses should have been fighting for as long as they possibly could. And they should have been trying something else. But then again, this comes to back to the fact that Kaizu and Zafar were such low HP.
Yeah. I mean, they've taken so many hits already.
They couldn't do anything.
Zafar missed that first shot and then got hit so much at the start.
If Kaizu is like 1.5k HP, like he probably should be, and Zafar's like decent HP,
right there, yeah.
they can push 1-2 line. Or they can push out 1-2 line, they can kill the Artie, remove one factor from the game, come around the tanks, or at least go to that little spot, peek up, and deliver some shots, right?
True.
Because if you push them away from 1-2 line, and you just come back to that corner, and you keep shooting them. But
it's an angle you don't have to worry about.
It all started with bad trades in the beginning.
Yeah.
It all started, and it just spiraled out of control after that.
I mean, it was a risk taken in Sheridan. We're now going to jump into Himmelsdorf. eSuba are going to be defending from the start here. GoHard are going to be on the attack. I'm looking forward to seeing the vehicle lineup, seeing if we get anything new, any of the newer vehicles coming out. Let's actually have a quick check ahead.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting.
Ooh, I'm going to enjoy listening to hear your thoughts on this one.
You're not going to hear so many thoughts on this one.
Just like normal then.
I'm never really surprised.
Never. You're like, it's like with Mojo, it's like, well, that's a surprise for me. Mojo's like, no, that's exactly what I was thinking was going to turn up.
Well, this is not something like super new. Let's get into it on the Himmelsdorf.
Hey, you thought you were going to see Himmelsdorf.
But like, it is not something super new. I mean, one tank is obviously right because we got the Fok B, Froley playing the Fok B.
Foch.
But Foch,
yeah,
Foch,
people got
Foch.
really salty when I was saying Foch because they're making all
Foch,
these what the Foch is happening and people didn't like it. So we have to say Foch.
Foch B, but then the GC and you're like, Artie on Himmelsdorf? What are you doing?
WZs as well, 5A's coming out.
Yeah, but the thing is, you bring Artie on Himmelsdorf because from A1 he can reset A7, but also he can reset B7. You can't effectively cap against it unless you triple cap after he just shot. If he just shot and you start triple capping, he doesn't reload on time.
Now, here's the thing. GoHard on Himmelsdorf are notorious for camping this bottom area of the map when they are the ones attacking. I hope this is not something they're going to repeat this season because it has never worked out for them in most situations. And it looks like that might be what they're doing. Now, Foch B went through a couple of big changes, didn't it? It replaced the Foch 155, and now we have the Foch B
It got multiple different things, right? They got an armor buff, so where in the past, if you saw the side of a FOC 155, you would shoot it. I think a T1 could pen it.
Yep.
I mean, bold statement, right? But now that the side where you see the Intel logo got buffed, so you can't just automatically overmatch it. It kept the weak spots though, the observation device and the bar. I don't know what to call that.
Dead center of the bar, I think, is everyone tries to aim for the left and right, but I think it's dead center is what you want to aim for.
I don't know what to call that bar, but anyways, like you can still shoot that, and it's still kind of the lower plate is still vulnerable to premium ammunition as well. The thing about it is that no tank can trade 1v1 against it. You cannot trade 1v1 against the FOC B.
It's like
and expect to get away because he tracks you and you're dead.
Remove the Waffle E100 because people didn't like being clipped by a TD tank destroyer. So we'll put in a TD tank destroyer with better front armor now.
This one doesn't have a turret though. That's the thing. You can't push with it. Honestly, I played it in randoms. You can't really push with it because you don't have that turret.
But
so
for sitting back and picking people off though, or hold it like you're saying, zone denial.
The thing that Waffle had was an amazing gun. Like genuinely great accuracy, great aiming, great alpha. The FOC B, it's an AMX 50D gun. It is a little bit wobbly from time to time. So I wouldn't say this one is that broken at all compared to like Waffenträger, because Waffenträger had the amazing gun. Like genuinely, at the time, I think the best gun in the game. So it doesn't have that.
It's interesting the way looking at the way the map layout looks like just now, because you would think that GoHard are the defending team, you think the eSuba are the attacking team, the way the eSuba have got such control of the map.
If you were thinking right now, well, like, what is the weakness in this tactic from eSuba? It would be a very quick push across AB line. Stefan, that is so annoying. He lost his commander, his gun.
Gun, and stunned as well.
And stunned.
Nuts. Batchat, 25T. Tier 10 French medium.
I don't think he has a medkit.
Only
I
has
don't think he has a medkit.
Yep, I was just going to say, most people don't run medkit.
Can we check Stefan if he has a medkit? Because I don't think so.
It's usually repair, rations, and extinguisher.
He does not have a medkit. That isn't. He cannot spot anything anymore.
He's done for his, and he's down.
I mean, he's not done. He just can't do what he's supposed to do.
That's going to affect his. He doesn't have Sixth Sense. He has a slower reload now than what you would have normally. He can't really spot for anything because he's got a dead commander.
Yeah, his view range gets diminished.
Brothers in Arms anymore either.
His view range gets. I think he still has Brothers in Arms, but every crew.
No, he can't have. He's lost a crew member. It's not active when you've got a missing crew member.
I think with the Batchat, it's just that everybody helps with loading.
Maybe, I'm sure, but the bonus from Brothers in Arms skill, I think, is lost.
But with Batchat, all three crew members are loading the shells.
Yeah, but still, Brothers in Arms provides a bonus itself.
I'm not sure if you lose it if you die. I'm not sure. I think I said that last season, and then somebody said it, and I'm not right, and I looked it up.
I can say it. I'm wrong all the time. So.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I said that last season, and then somebody said I'm wrong.
That's wrong. Okay.
And then I looked it up, and I ended up being wrong. Anyways, so.
Okay, then it might be wrong or right. But anyway, losing the commander for a Batchat is a horrible thing. He definitely doesn't have 6.
This is not going to be a good trade for Kaizu because he comes around. Unji spots him out with binoculars. He shoots first. Even if they trade here, Artie comes out and splashes Kaizu.
Stefan's going to run down the hill now. Now he gets spotted just as he goes around the corner. Unji's like, oh, hey, there's a Batchat below me as well.
I mean, the damage has already been. Ooh,
I was going to say, is he going to blind shot? Kaizu got hit there by artillery.
I mean, you can still see, though, because of that, the fact that eSuba brought Artie, they are still down 3,000 HP.
Yeah.
So it is a very big risk bringing this artillery. And it's also a very big risk to set up that
Look
GoHard
at Zafarchik
right
and Failware already pushed up into that 5 line as well, right below Unji.
But I wanted to say the weakness before in eSuba's tactic was a quick push onto the A4 position where Unji was, but he has 2 tanks behind him. So I don't know about the current possibilities of that.
Coca-Cola being a little bit cheeky to peek around the other side here now as well. But it looks like Overus is just covering the area. They are spotting each other out, trading shots. Coca-Cola being hit at, Stefan being clipped there by artillery, and there is a base reset.
The thing is, look at this cap timer, 1 minute and 53 seconds. Can Stefan cap by himself? No, he cannot. So Artie will keep resetting Stefan. He has the splash for it. They need more cap pressure, but there's no real opening for GoHard right now. They're trying to poke everywhere, trying to find something, but so far eSuba seems to have the the right amount of tanks in the right amount of places, I think Nile should, I don't know why they're still both here trying to do what they're doing now, because eSuba is happy that there's two super heavies sitting in the south versus their 113 and the Fog B.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, on GoHard's point of view, they're like, hey, we're holding these two tanks. It's like, actually, it's the other way around. Like, those two tanks are holding you. You should be trying to work on some kind of top cap tactics where you have the numerical superiority. Frawley there taking a hit, looked like from Annihilator.
Honestly, I think GoHard will still do the push that I was talking about, the quick push onto A4. Ooh, that
nice
was
snapshot there
nice
from
snap.
Coca-Cola.
If they do the quick push onto A4, Unji's by himself. It's what's happening right now as well, as you can see on the minimap.
Comes a push. Unji is going to get focused here. Somebody has to take a hit at first. There's a crossfire coming in as well. They need to focus their shots. Fuware wants to get his clip out into Unji. Zafarchik is going to push into Andrew. Coca-Cola has been distracted by Overus. Might just push up against him as well. Andrew's going to be the next one to forward. Can he come round and shoot into Overus? Andrew's on a reload, so he's going to be the one to focus. Combat running away in his artillery. And this looks like GoHard getting exactly what they need to be doing here.
It's not over just yet. Overus picks up Zafarchik. Stefan now clipping out, though. That is Overus dead, and you can still see the HP is just dropping more and more for eSuba. That's the thing. They're missing one combat tank, and this Fog B hasn't worked out so far.
Frawley going hyper-aggressive into Annihilate. He's going to park his tank right in front of him and just clip out into him. Lookin's going to get shots into the back, and look at this damage coming out there from the Fog B into Annihilator. But Frawley's now kind of stuck in that area. He can rotate himself out of it, but it's going to take him a little while to do so. One more shell left. Does he choose to reload, or is he worried about negative below him?
There's still a 3,200 HP mouse, well, a little bit less at this point, sitting over here. Frawley is reloading. Ukats is trying to run, but GoHard has the complete surround. They have to be kind of careful, though, because they only have 2 minutes, and I'd rather have them secure the win right now than what they're doing now, which is chasing. There is not much hope, though, for eSuba to win this round. You could just see that one tier tank, that one tier 10 that's missing, tank-wise, it just costs them so much.
Combat there, taking a shot as he tries to maneuver himself behind the hill. Stefan's peeking on one side, Kaizu's waiting for them on the other. Now, Coca-Cola-Up's taking a bit of damage there in the mouse, but look at this, Negative now realises he has a shot onto Combat. Frawley might be able to clip out Negative. If Negative can just keep the angle, it's going to prevent Frawley from doing so, keeping the indestructible gas tanks in between them. Nice shot there going for the middle of the observation device, and he just keeps himself angled, knowing that there's a tank below him as well, but, well, it's going to be a hell of a turnaround from eSuba to come back from this.
Yeah, I mean, Frawley did, I mean, in the end of the day, he did a lot of damage here, but most of it was already when his team was pretty much dead. Negative picks him up, and GoHard, it was the weakness, the obvious weakness in eSuba's strat, right? That E3 by himself in A4. It's an easy overmatch, and eSuba only has 6 combat tanks. You lose Unji, that's 5. I mean, yes, GoHard, trading-wise, trading-wise, it was not in their favor at all, that push.
Yep.
But they have 3,000 more HP. They can throw that HP away if they want to.
I mean, it's good that you have the E3 in that position, but he needs to do a significant bit of damage before he can actually go down, and really he didn't do that, so like you said,
couldn't do much more, though, that's the thing. The strat with Artie, it's all good and well, but against 7 combat tanks, if you did this with like an M40, which you couldn't do in the past because it couldn't splash the entire corner, if you did this with like an M40, nice. You just use your tier 8 well. Now using your tier 10 spot to bring an artillery, where, you know, GoHard has another mouse.
It's a bit like when on...
It's iffy.
Malnovka, when teams used to bring the Crusader, it very much tells your tactic. Muravanka, yeah, sorry. Very much explains the tactic to your team straight away, to the enemy team straight away, and if they just go, okay, we'll play around that, then that's a worthless pick, effectively.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing this already so much. I've seen it now a few times. I've seen it by eSuba, I've seen it on the CIS server. Every single time it's lost so far from what I've seen. I think a more aggressive defense is better, but I'm guessing eSuba didn't really want to play that against GoHard. We did say that should be GoHard's map, right? Yeah. This should be the map where they understand what is happening, how is eSuba set up. It's not like the RD was a super surprise for GoHard. You could see they were quite aware of what they wanted to do. They were waiting in the 5 line, and then when Stefan got reset, they were like, okay, so Stefan comes to us, and then we just push out Unji.
Yep, it was very nicely executed there from GoHard. Obviously, the only thing could have been better would not be losing any tanks, but hey, a win's a win at the end of the day. You'll take it however way you can get it.
Unless you cap the base on randoms.
True, true. Do not cap when there's lots of HP on the board still to be farmed. Only cap if it's at risk of being lost. That's a good advice, isn't it? Or just don't cap at all, just do damage.
Just shield me.
Just shield Aki so you can do damage.
Just like, drive next to me, you see an enemy, park yourself in front of me, you know?
Now, teams are going to swap positions. We're going to see GoHard now on the defense. We're going to see eSuba on the attack.
This could be an easy 2-2, actually, for GoHard. This goes back to actually a trend we saw last season a lot, where one team would pick up the first map.
First map, second map,
then
then you swap maps over and over, Cap 1 down in the railway lines, Cap 2 up in what would be the North team spawn. Attackers spawn in that top right corner, defenders spawn in the bottom left corner. Defenders this time are going to be GoHard. Let's have a look at their lineup here.
So, eSuba coming out with double eyes 4, triple type 5, and double bot. That is a mean lineup. That's a lot of dirt. But look at GoHard. They're coming out with the new Chinese heavy tank destroyer. Sorry.
We talked about this on Monday. I said, "Will we see it?" And Mojo's like, "I don't know. Like, you know, it's an unknown. It's not a dark horse."
We weren't sure either. So I mean, we'll see how good Nile can do in it, right? That is the question for everybody. But this lineup from eSuba has a lot of HP available. Look at the difference. There's a natural difference already in HP. But how are they going to use these IS-4s? The IS-4 has a bad gun.
It'd be interesting to see it side by side against the Russian TD. I think it was the ammo types was the deciding factor. I admit I've not known a lot about it myself. I really didn't expect to see it so soon. But here we go, day 1. And it's already being used here on Himmelsdorf. Interesting pick over something like, for example, a Foch B, in a way.
Well, the thing is, it has the way Niall's playing it right now. It has 750 alpha, and he's setting up for the 8 line. So if somebody crosses through 8 line, he'll give him 750 damage on the crossing. But you can see eSuba has no such intentions. This looks like an A line cap strategy with his shield almost.
Old school push going up there.
Not old. Like, I mean, usually when you put all 7 tanks over the hill, you either want to catch somebody off guard, or you want to go towards that A line. If you can get onto A7, make a shield, get somebody behind him, then you can cap very effectively. But that's again sacrificing that tier 10. Is it going to be worth it? That is not sure. You can see GoHard kind of expects this as well with the 50B positioning. But the thing is that there's too much HP on the board to really stop this play from eSuba.
I mean, they'll come down the hill, they'll get position. Coca-Cola ups. He's got his backline position ready to go with his TDs. Afarchik's sitting in A5 and the mouse. Kaizu's ready to shoot. Stefan and Failware can come around and shoot an Annihilator. We can just have to rotate once the push happens. They can see them there peeking up over the hill. Frawley getting the top of his tank spotted. It's too high for the wall there. Yeah,
he peeked over, but he actually spotted Kaizu in return, so it's not the burst rates for them actually. He takes a shot from Coca-Cola. That is damage that we expect eSuba to take on the crossing though, but nonetheless, 615 got shaven off. So it's now the question is, what strat is eSuba really going for? Are they going to make a shield, or are they going to try and cap at the IS-4? Kaizu peeking here, I don't know, this is type 5 there, dude.
Bold move, Kaizu, and you are hit for 518 for your troubles.
Yeah, you don't really peek against type 5s that are holding a corner.
Yeah, if they're just sitting there pre-aimed as well, they're just going to launch as soon as they see you.
Overus actually managed to scare off both of those 50Bs. You know, Failware and Stefan were sitting there. We didn't see it, but Overus managed to scare them off by just peeking, and both Stefan and Failware unloaded their entire clip for this. Now Overus can gently move on to the cap. So it's not a shield. They just want to cap at the IS-4. Okay, that's interesting, because the Farchik will just peek out at one point and reset him. And he can do this 3 or 4 times, and there will be no time left to cap. So I'm not 100% sure like what eSuba is trying to achieve, because Zafar has to wait there, wait until the cap hits like 80, 90%, peeks out, decaps Overus, and that's...
He's got a great angle into Overus from there as well. Now Negative coming up here with Coca-Cola apps, getting a bit of a crossfire going. And well, eSuba's got all their eggs in one basket right now. It looks like GoHard is eyeing them up.
Well, I mean, Overus is looking towards Zafar, right? But the thing is, Zafar can load HE as well. Doesn't change anything. Even if he doesn't pen him on the first shot, he loads HE on the second one. So there needs to be like a follow-up play here for eSuba. There needs to be a reaction, something like a trigger. I don't know if they're waiting for a trigger, if there is going to be one, or this is just the strat. put the ice 4 on cap and hope that it works. That's the thing we're looking for. Is that the strategy, or are they going to try something? But look at GoHard. They're already counter pushing 8 line, or trying to at least.
It's going to be bored. Whoever sticks his head out there first. Niall ditched the shot, so he can't help his teammates that are on a reload. Shot comes out there, connects into Coca-Collapse. Now they're going to push around here. Are they going to take out the fight to the Type 5 heavies? I mean, there's a crossfire. They want to try and take out over us, it looks like. This is not the play I was expecting here, Daki.
Well, I mean, the Type 5s can only do 1 shot, so GoHard was like, okay, we take the damage on somebody like Coca-Collapse, then come around the corner, remove overers. Still, this puts the HP massively in favor of eSuba, though. Look at this. Zafarchik took a ton, and the only one that took anything was Overus. He's down and out, though. Now Unji is starting to rotate, though, because they've seen all the tanks. Unji is the crucial player in this one. In this bat, he can dismantle the GoHard defense step by step. He knows where everybody is, but he needs to make the correct personal decisions to make the damage, right? To make it happen.
And it's really worth pointing out, you said that GoHard said we can just peek here and take the shot, but doing that, Zafarchik in the mouse lost an absolute truck ton of HP. He's down to 910. Now, he was in a fairly safe position, but looks like they focused him Annihilator trying to play peekaboo on this corner. Very bold thing to do. He doesn't really have the HP to do that. Kaizu is stopping him from trying to get a shot there by rolling out in front of him, so now Annihilator can come around the corner, but the enemy tanks have rolled round.
Well, GoHard is actually pushing up with all their tanks. They realize the potential from the bat shots rotating. It seems like they're aware of this as well, and they're going to try and make their own engagement on this corner.
Failware, Stefan, and Coca-Collapse leading the charge here, trying to focus down a tank, but they're not doing enough damage, although Froley is taking a lot of hits here. Practically Check is now going to be the next one he focuses into, as Failware finally drops Froley, but in return, Combat takes down Stefan, and this is an absolute brawl up in this top corner.
Well, the thing is, the bats are going to be coming in very soon, though. Unji is actually starting to capture the base, and when Andrew joins him, they're going to have to send somebody quick back, and who is there to send? There's Failware, maybe Annihilator, and as long as eSuba holds this corner as the best of their capabilities, they can win this game, because Andrew is going to get on that cap rather quickly.
Zafarchik is starting to head back, but he's in the mouse. He looks like he's torn between what to do, as the rest of eSuba just try and hold these GoHard tanks up here in
Combat
this
is holding a shot
corner, as everyone is trying to do the double cap at the moment. We're down to 38 seconds in that cap, and
that's what he held his shot for.
Now?
That's what Combat held his shot for in that Type 5 heavy for Failware, because Failware is really the only one that's going to get back into position quickly and on time. Let's see if eSuba can actually make it work with 2 bat shots on the cap.
Negative here continuing to drill with Combat, but we can see Failware pushing up on the cap circle. That is where the action is going to be right now, so let's jump over. Can Failware get a shot? I mean, both of these bat shots are going to be aiming at him. It all depends. One more shot is all he needs to do. He hit with the shot there, Daki. He did get the reset. That
should be enough, actually. 24 seconds. Zafarchik should be there as well, most likely, and Failware has enough HP for at least 1 or 2 more shots. If Combat penetrated that, it could have been a different game, though.
Could have been, yeah. If you'd managed to wreck him with a one-shot, trying to peek through that building gap. Very small gap that not a lot of people know about. Really good way to get a reset. And these 2 bat shots, well, they need to try and pick someone to go for and take them down, because where they are now, everyone knows where they are. And I think this is it. GG to GoHard. They're going to take Himmelsdorf 2-0.
Well, they should take Himmelsdorf 2-0. It's not over just yet, though. These 2 bat shots have, I mean, they can try and make it work, right? But GoHard has too many angles to surround them. GoHard did something very smart there, which not a lot of teams do, is realize that the bat shot...
Andrew,
bat shot on that angle.
E4.
But like, GoHard did something that a lot of teams don't do. They realized that the bat shots were going to be rotating to try and come around. I think Unji waited way too long to make a play, by the way. I think he was gone unspotted for way too long. GoHard realized they're waiting for something. What can they be waiting for? The bat shots. And they pushed. And they took out gun after gun after gun. And that's the issue for eSuba. If those 2 bat shots were quicker, at least Unji, they would have been able to do so much damage. If Unji was closer, he would have been able to give a full clip onto the backs of these GoHard tanks.
He went round the very long way around and was not able to come into that battlefield. It was a hell of a brawl up there at A0, B0 there. eSuba doing the best delaying tactic possible that they could have done to allow their 2 bat shots to cap. And unfortunately, Failware was able to get through the gap.
I don't think the plan was to cap, really.
Fastest vehicle they could get back.
Yeah, I mean, Combat was holding a shot in that Type 5 constantly to try and penetrate that 50B, but he obviously didn't get the penetration, which is unlucky. We didn't see how he aimed, right? So it either was like the 50B got spotted too late and he had a bad shot, or the shot didn't land well, he didn't aim right. All of those factors are there. But those bats did not have the intention to cap in the beginning. They wanted to flank around at the very least, and I think Unji should have been closer at least, because if he was like closer to the 5 line, he he would have given an entire clip onto the back of those tanks, and I think GoHard would have gotten actually decimated.
Yeah, because the minute anyone turned, he would have just, be able to clip.
He would have clipped out on
yeah,
one of the 50Bs.
Huge difference.
No, actually, he would have clipped out on both the 50Bs. He would have just shot the 50Bs, and then GoHard has only single shooters left, and they can actually trade with them. So
just needs to back off, reload, come back in again.
Well, it's not a good map for eSuba.
Unlucky there, but now we have it at 2-2. So your prediction, Mojo prediction, production prediction, still all on the board. Mine's obviously. If you guys ever want to make money, just bet on whatever I say is the opposite, and you guys will be sitting pretty. Can't predict anything.
Well, I mean that is Himmelsdorf done though. As predicted, it was going to be GoHard's map. I'm surprised that we're at 2-2. I expected a 3-1 at this point.
Sand River now.
But it is Sand River now. That's going to be the first time in Europe, at least, I'm going to be seeing this one.
Indeed. Another thing that's going to be exciting with Sand River as well is team comms.
Yeah, that's true. We are going to be listening in with the teams on Sand River.
I want to hear, I want to hear what they're going to be talking about. Where they're going to go, what they're going to say, even calling out positions. I don't
know. We'll find out. At Sand River, it's new for all of us in Europe, at least.
Tank being used. I've never seen in Europe.
I saw that as well.
Yep.
I saw that as well.
Interesting. You'll see in a minute, chat. Don't worry. But this is exciting because again, it's another tank we talked about on Monday as a potential tank that could start to be used now. And it's perfect for this map, to be honest.
We said about it, like, after playing it in randoms as well, the M48 pattern is actually a very, well, we can still talk about the lineup though, but the M48 pattern is a tank that can indeed be...
No, it's not 3-1. Easy, Tiger.
The M48 pattern is indeed a tank that can be used now because the fact that it got changed so much. Like, it's not even the same turret anymore, right?
It looks beautiful. It
looks pretty, but like it changed a lot. Like, you used to have the big turret, very chunky, big cupola as well, quite easy to shoot at. Even the turret itself wasn't made out of anything that would remotely bounce.
In that tank's first ever iteration, it was an absolute monster, and then it got nerfed. And it was just never the same. It was an absolute beast when it first came out.
Well, now it's really good as well because the cupola is actually hard to hit. You need to aim for it, and the general turret bounces. So you can play it very well in randoms. You can play it in WGL as well. That's the difference between that one and the AMX30B. The AMX30B got a strong turret, but kept the
still got the huge commander's cupola, yeah.
Big commander's cupola.
It's not a Tuma.
It is.
Now, Cap 1 there on the left-hand side in the village area. Cap 2 on the right. Attackers spawn in the north spawn. Defenders spawn to the right of what would be the south spawn on a regular battle. Now, lineups, as we're just talking about, we see M48 Patton being used there. Coca-Cola is going to be playing that. Annihilator in the STRV, the Swedish tier 10. So, a lot of new vehicles being used. WZ5A, Treble 15A. We did talk about that. You were saying how it's just a fantastic all-rounder.
It is amazing all-rounder. You can see GoHard here is not going for the standard north defense, like a lot of teams would. Like, they would boost somebody on B9, they'd be driving up to like D78, and they'd be waiting. They are actually pushing forward towards the south. But now, look at eSuba. eSuba is actually just pushing straight across to base number 2. And that is probably the most direct counter they could have done to GoHard's strategy, because GoHard is setting up to defend the south, while eSuba is going to put 3 tanks onto the cap within 30 seconds from now when they realize there's nobody there, and it's GG. Honestly, this is almost GG.
This is quite sloppy from GoHard there. They're not covering both bases. And eSuba are heavy on base too. They can defend it. They can sit 3 people in and just defend it. This might be the equivalent of a rush cap on...
this might be the quickest win we've ever seen on Sand River.
It could be, yep.
It is 100% the quickest win we've ever seen on Sand River.
You
Ryan,
got me.
Please.
You got me, Ducky. You got me. Gotcha. Looks like they're not going into cap circle though. Did they see Coca-Cola? There they go. There's one in the cap circle already. Base timer showing you there. Base 2, 1 in the circle. GoHard realizing their error of not having enough guns, but it looks like GoHard might actually get a wraparound here with Stefan and Zafarczyk if they're given enough time to do so.
Well, we kind of forget about Coca-Cola. He's the saving grace for this tactic. Almost forgot about him, but he could pick over and reset. I still think eSuba is being very slow though for what it is. I'd like them to put some more pressure. Hello, they can put 2 guys on the cap and actually force GoHard, because look at GoHard. Within now and 20 seconds, the game is actually lost for eSuba, because when GoHard gets onto that E2, E3 position, all these heavies are dead.
Once GoHard are able to get the flank here, they have a complete surround of eSuba, and eSuba are just locked in this top corner, so It's not going to go well for him. Coca-Cola getting hit there, losing his driver, using the Medipack to get him back up and running. His negative now trades a combat and gets a shot into him. Unji taking a bit of damage there on the backlines for eSuba, and GoHard from a potential massive and quick loss at the start are now finding themselves in a fantastic position here.
Well, I wouldn't say fantastic. The thing is still that these heavies are quite pulled down. You can see the shots are just not coming through. Fairware, Kaizu, Zafar, they're all trying, but it's a 5A they're shooting at. So far, they haven't actually managed to penetrate that many shots.
2 tanks in the cap circle. There's Over has backed himself out of the cap circle. Pratlechek bouncing lots of shots there, so he's doing okay. Collapse, the one that's kind of doing all the viewing here, is down to less than half health in the pattern. He's had to back off now, and it looks like Negative is replacing him for trying to play peekaboo and give his team information.
Well, Niall won't be able to reset anymore. Lucan's pushed up, and Andrew and Unji are still controlling Negative and Coca Collapse. There is a reset door from Zafar in the T1 Light Time, but Niall, I think, should be pretty dead in this situation.
Combat and Frawley now moving up into Annihilator. Looks like Annihilator is going to go down here, but at what point? I mean, how much damage can he do before he goes?
I mean, we're gonna have to see, right? eSuba is definitely on the winning move right now.
Yep, let's have a listen into eSuba's TeamSpeak and see how well they can do here. Well, I guess not. We don't have eSuba's TeamSpeak just yet, but let's continue talking about the match here, Daki. Now, GoHard have lost 2 tanks. They've lost Coca-Collapse, they've lost Annihilator. eSuba have lost Andrew, they've lost Batchat. So eSuba are down 2 Batchat. They've lost Batchat, they've lost Unji. eSuba have down 2 Batchats. GoHard are down a Batchat, STRV and an M48 pattern.
I would still say that GoHard has kind of a saving grace here, that all their tanks are more in a together, combined, packed area. These 5As can bully themselves out of this position. Frawley putting one into Negative from behind, and Protelicek as well picking up Negative. Beautiful shot there, and this is the crossfire coming out from eSuba. GoHard has only one way, and it's forward. They have to go right now, but they're driving into 5As.
Zafarchik taking a lot of damage there as he pushed forwards. Failware taking a bit of damage as well, and eSuba starting to wrestle a bit control of the match here. Kaizu picking up a triple kill there as he pushes in. Pratlechek picking up the double kill, but now he's going to go down for that as Kaizu picks up multi-kill and is still swinging right now for GoHard.
Yeah, Lukin is going to go down here as well. He needs to do at least one more shot, and he doesn't. If he did one more shot, that'd be different, but now the bad shots from GoHard are pretty much all on reloads. Frawley needs to come in right now with Combat. Combat is almost reloaded. That's the thing. He needs to 1v1 Failware right here. Failware should go down for this. Failware actually got the first shot.
Failware is able to take out Combat. Daki has his hands up in the air. I can only imagine what's going through his mind at the moment. Frawley, last one surviving for his team, might be able to pick out Stefan here, but Failware, Kaizu are going to finish him off. Kaizu might actually get an extra kill here, and he will be doing the absolute damage for his team here.
I still don't know how. I don't understand how Combat is standing still and doesn't get the first shot on towards Failware. Failware actually picks that one up. If he picks that one up, then they have actually enough ammunition between the two of them to kill everybody around.
Kaizu and Failware here. Frawley's not going to be in a reload. He's going to keep running from him. He's going to come off reload and perhaps kill Kaizu. No. Failware's going to get the kill. Kaizu's not going to get his, I think it's 5 he was on. Failware with the double kill. I think Kaizu had 4 in the end there. And that was flipping non-stop the entire round.
I still feel like eSuba had that round from the beginning, though, with the way they moved. If they put like double 5A onto the cap and then did push the other 5A forward, then the pattern would have committed much earlier to try and get those resets. Negative wouldn't even be in position yet because he'd still be driving in the IS-7. So they would have the cap pressure, and none of these batches in the south would be in position. Zafarchik wouldn't be able to reset because he reset a few times by just hitting the track. Not penning, obviously, because it's very hard to pen with a T100 on that distance. He reset it a few times like that. I think this is all down to eSuba being very slow in realizing the advantage they were handed by GoHard.
Yeah, I think eSuba.
Although I'm pretty sure GoHard will say it was all planned.
Yeah, it was all planned. It was all planned. We wanted to give up base 2. I think eSuba, when you watch this one back, you're going to be kicking yourself about not putting early pressure.
But they started off by putting one guy in the cap rather than 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this gives GoHard all the time they would want to just move around the map, and then Kaizu doing picking up a lot of crucial kills honestly.
For sure, did a huge amount of damage. Now this finally means that GoHard are able to take the lead in this matchup between these two teams. They were 2-0 down, they brought it back to 2-2. Now they're stepping ahead onto 3-2.
Classic. It's so classic for one team to win like the first map and then lose the next two.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we go map for map.
We've seen it so much.
Yeah, we get that a lot. You get map for map as well. But, I mean, an unusual situation. I generally did not think that GoHard would lose their first two opening rounds.
They haven't won the match either yet. I mean, eSuba is showing a fight. I really think they had it in the last round. I also think they could have had Himmelsdorf. So I think GoHard is currently beating eSuba just purely on experience almost.
True indeed. Now the teams are going to swap positions on the map. We're going to see GoHard are going to be the one that are going to be attacking now. It's going to be eSuba on the defense. Starting out down the bottom for eSuba. GoHard starting out north. Okay, mirror matchup almost. It's taking similar to what GoHard similar to what eSuba had.
GoHard has the same lineup in this round as they had in the last one. Yeah. So obviously GoHard's lineup was not correct. This is the correct one. They don't have a pattern. They do have the STRV again, but now Niall's in the IS-7, where Negative was in the last round.
Yep.
And now Stefan's in the STRV. So they're switching up the tanks a little bit depending on the map inside.
Zafarchik still in the T100. So, I mean, it's the first show of the season, folks. We're going to have a couple of teeth and things, but don't worry, we'll get them locked down. So, sorry about that. Now, GoHard, you can see here, Failware pushing Coca-Collapse, getting him to go a little bit faster in his WZ as we're looking now from the viewpoint of Overus on eSuba.
Sort of similar start from eSuba as GoHard did, but this time they have a lot more tanks in the north trying to defend that though. There's combat over there. Together with Unji, if I'm not wrong, as Zafarchik is trying to spot out. But if GoHard makes a push here across the K-line with like everybody, then it's GG already at this point. Because GoHard has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks over there.
Combat now playing peekaboo on that corner. It's a dangerous area where a lot of people sit in randoms, but it's also a predictable area where you can kind of expect a tank to be.
This is something I saw on NA as well, though. I think it was Elevate that did it. They took control first over the south side of the map, made sure there was nobody there. Once they've established that they have control, they move back with the tanks and they start going through the A line and the F line at the same time to try and take the control. You can see they're not wasting any time. They're boosting Coca-Collapse as well. But this is really like something like I saw Elevate do as well when I was watching the NA broadcast. They take control of the south, then they swing back and they go north and they count on the team that they're playing against being kind of split, which is obviously the case as we can see by the positions.
Okay, now Negative and Failware doing the Coca-Collapse choo-choo train. Didn't really see a lot of this happening last season, but it's interesting to see it's happening now this season to help the heavier tanks.
Well, he just stays on top speed the entire time like this. That's the thing. So now Coca-Collapse did gain a significant amount of time because he's always driving at top speed.
Now the rest of GoHard, everybody here other than Zafarchik are going to push this top line hard, and Froley, Pratilicek and Lukin are going to feel the brunt of this in just a few moments.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how these batch shots from GoHard move, because if they're going to push over, then we'll see. I mean, Kaizu, Failware, and Negative are pushing up, and if they go for Froley, it's going to be interesting to see.
It's like they're trying to just take their position at the moment. Pratilicek just playing peekaboo. Now let's jump into the TeamSpeak of GoHard and listen to how they're going to play this one out.
We need to drop behind him, by the way, guys. We don't need to stay and shoot, because it will be bad shot on the boost.
Give a shot.
There's bad shot round, by the way.
Nice. Back again.
Yeah, kill it.
Get safe from the afterwards. Get safe from the afterwards. They will have to counter push here. They will have to counter push here.
Finish this double Z, guys. Finish even in front of the corner, finish double Z. Do it fast.
Yeah, 3 shots.
Try to track him if you can, cool.
Stay on the cap by 3. It's one heavy on the cap, two bad shots. One bad shot going behind. Just do it fast. Stay on the cap, just wait them.
Yeah.
I will go in front of the
I'm aiming that corner. Let the VC peek. I can farm him now if he peeks you.
Yeah, no, but I can do one.
Guys, be careful. You don't need to pick if you can just stay.
They're all
Stay if you
close.
can.
Bad's coming. No, yeah, don't.
Bat is behind. He's not doing much.
Stay.
It's -2. Andrew -2 in the back.
They can't even go in time with this.
He's going now to switch.
Should we aim this bitch?
Yeah, of course. I will need to aim, of course.
Heavies.
Need to aim, they're gonna shoot me down. What's busy?
Wait it up.
Badget on top, but he can't shoot the back. He's peeking, badget on top, peeking.
Can they passieren?
We push something.
Can we push it to heavy?
We can go
I'm
with
okay
that.
there.
The badget shoots some, the badget shoots some. This one. He
I'm
wanted
okay
to
there.
shoot.
I'll take pick quick guy.
Guys, do some damage when we pick.
I can maybe
Green
finish.
bush.
I badge them up.
Yeah, go back.
I have 17.
Where'd you be?
A 30 seconds. 25 now. Going to the north.
We need Siri here.
Боже, нет, это пиздец.
15 seconds.
Wait, I can't right now.
Guys, we need fight while this double Z is not here. We can't?
I have 10
Coming up,
seconds
please.
left.
I will go and crawl.
Oh, yeah, shorts.
I'm coming close, I can pick this VZ then.
Yeah,
We cannot fight this.
Is
We
Badget
cannot go fight
behind
or
guys?
something.
Badget behind.
I'm aiming behind.
-1.
-2, yeah.
Can we finish the double Z right now, guys? They have two badges behind. They will push from behind.
Okay, I'm peeking.
Ah, no, they
No.
They have shorts.
I can't pick you. One badge at me, 700 will pick you. 700 minus 1. 100 minus 2. What was the problem? Why we can't just...
Because we trade like retards.
And, well, that did not go as planned there, Daki, did it?
Not really. They had like a good overmatch in the beginning onto, I think it was Froley. Like they picked him up for free. They double-tracked him actually when he went over the hill. That was a very strong start there, but I really don't think this cap thingy that they were trying over there with 3 guys on the cap. When they went onto the cap, half of their bad shots had like 2 shots, 3 shots, right? And then eSuba came in with 2 5As, and all of the bad shots still full ammo. So this caused the fact that the 5As were just peeking freely at all times on towards the tanks of GoHard. Nile was out in front. He really, I don't know if he played that like 100%, though. He's probably going to show up in the chat be like, I think I played that perfectly. But anyways, like, I don't think he made like really great trades there. He was probably trying to protect the cap, like trying to put aggression, make them not wanting to reset. But, I mean, there was tanks speaking from the top. There was Andrew on the other side. Stefan was also coming in with 3k damage almost. That's the 5A we were talking about. But, like, Andrew from the side, and then those bad shots ready, and GoHard sitting on the cap with their bad shots. And then they made a commitment onto Protelicek, right? I think it was, in his 5A.
Yeah,
and they picked him up. That's nice, right? They picked up that 5A up front. But there's still the thing that...
That was when it was Stefan
saying,
can we push the two
Yeah,
the
their
two
bad
heavies?
shots were all on reload then. And then eSuba's bad shots come off reloads, and there's some bad peaks there. Negative comes to mind.
Peaks,
that was an awful peak. Guys who were peeking also.
Guys who peaked, Negative was extended,
but at one point you could just hear GoHard wasn't sure what to do. They were like,
can we do this? Can we do
they're
that?
like, they knew they couldn't fight, but they were still fighting.
Yeah.
And they're like, can we do this? Can we do that? No, they couldn't do anything. They were already committed to this cap. It was,
yeah, I mean, it's another interesting thing as well is that it's good to see eSuba playing very much coordinated, very much as a team. I mean, they are pretty much it's the exact same team that played last season. They've just strengthened it.
They had a lot of close matches last season as well.
They rotated their team a lot last
season. They had a lot of matches, a lot of potential there that they could have made a win here or win there. But in the end of the day, it didn't work. Like, again, this is a good start for them. They've done this before. They've been here before. They have shown that they are capable of doing certain things. It's just that consistency. They always seem to put up a good fight, but fail in the end. Now, I guess they want to pick up at least points here, so they're going to have to pick up at least one more round.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You're only going to get to play each team twice. If they can pick up a win, or if even take GoHard to a tiebreaker, it's a great result for them.
It's not just like that, right? Like the win, but also the head-to-head for like later on. Obviously, if like ties come to mind, it's mini tournament, and mini tournament is head-to-head. So all of that stuff really matters.
They stand a good chance to get to I mean, okay, it's early days.
No, they stand a really good chance to get to top 6 because technically we're always going to put the two new teams on the bottom.
Yeah, we're always going to struggle. So going in now into one of our favourite maps to cast a lot of the time is.
I want to see if there's going to be some IS7s on this map for the attacking team at the very least. That's what we already talked about. There could be the potential of an IS7. There's going to be some 5As. Coming out as well. Okay, so Stefan is indeed playing at IS7 on the attacking side, as predicted. We did know this was going to be the map where there was going to be where there's going to be potential for Fosh for mouses as well.
This
so.
used to be super like mouse in both lineups, and it's really interesting because eSuba have only got one.
Yeah, they only have one mouse, but they have a lot of 5As though, and if these mouses are not pushing onto the 5As, but just like trading, then the 5A can actually do really well because of that compression, that turret. But I think that the play here for GoHard is going to be like, I think Stefan will go to like B0 and then to A9, A8 onto the cap at one point. And at least that's what one would think, right? Because of that IS7.
Old school trap at the bottom right corner of the map there.
It is. It is, and it might actually work.
We've seen teams fall for this before. Unji and Froly are going to drive.
The thing is, eSuba has a lot of things, a lot of times very close though. If Unji and Froly don't super commit and kind of spot them out early,
Froly's dead.
No, not necessarily, because there's a hill in between them. They need to push over that hill.
He's spotted. He spots the Fosh.
And
he runs.
He
and
runs.
It's game's a bogey, as we would say in Scotland when it's game over. Game's a bogey. Restart. Well, it's not happening now. Collapse and Zavarchik weren't spotted though, so he did only spot Kaizu. The rest of GoHard are all spotted on the edge of the map.
They spotted Coca Collapse now.
Now, eSuba, the defending team, have taken a huge amount of map control here.
Well, Froly needs to keep running very quickly. He takes one more shot on the way out. Ooh, he's safe. He's safe. But the game's up, but they really can't do much about it. They can't punish for this. There's no punishment. They can't punish GoHard at all. GoHard did some free damage. That's about the only thing that happened.
Combat taking a hit there as well as he backs off and he loses his driver for that. Looks like he's also not running a Medipack, Daki.
Bachat probably not running that one indeed. But the thing is here, GoHard can now just fall back. They have the HP advantage. They did some early damage. They've made eSuba afraid of the positions, and they still have that IS7 Stefan, which at one point, I believe, should be going into the cap. And then what does eSuba do? They are already 3,000 HP down.
Is it more of a personal choice about not using the repair pack? Because we see it, sorry, the first aid pack, because we see it so many times that Batchats lose crew members, and it really affects their, well, effectiveness later on in the battles.
Yeah, it does, but the thing is, it's usually worse being set on fire.
Okay.
You lose so much HP when you're on fire. Like, if you're on fire, that usually means that you're either clipping on somebody or running away. If you get set on fire running away, usually means you're going to die because other people will shoot you. If you're clipping somebody while you're shooting with your bat shot and you get set on fire, it means you're not going to hit them anymore. And
you can say in counter, like, why did they take fire extinguishers and we never see fires? Well, the whole point of having the fire extinguisher and the fire training crew on your tank is because you very rarely see the fires. They go out in an instant with the automatic fire extinguishers after one tick.
It's minimum 3 ticks for manual, minimum 1 tick. 1 tick is like 1 burning piece.
Yeah. So we see the cap being started down by Stefan in the IS7. Combat's above him, Lucan's over there with him as well. Froly can get shots into him as well as they wanted, but eSuba not trading well here at the start. They've taken damage across multiple tanks, and GoHard have only taken a bit of damage on Annihilator. They
don't really seem to be fully aware of what they want to do. They're doing a lot of rotations, but they're also bleeding a lot for this. Stefan is indeed in that cap, and I don't know why nobody destroyed that wall. They've had 3.5 minutes to destroy the walls. And nobody did it, and that was a beautiful stop from Stefan.
Back there into looking, yeah, very nicely done.
Either Stefan or Zafarchik, one of the two. Probably Zafar, actually. Sorry, Stefan.
Stefan's on the reload, so...
Zafar was as well.
Okay, my bad. Pratilicek and Unji here looking for shots. This is the viewpoint of Pratilicek as he's trying to get an aim into Kaizu. He's thinking better of that. You don't face down a Fosh B head on. It's a very bold move to do.
Well, Stefan's being clipped out right now, I think, by the bad shot from combat, and he's taking a lot of damage from that position. But this is the GoHard push, though.
Here comes the push from a triple mouse, failware, negative, and Annihilator peeking round the corner. Froly is going to back off. They don't actually have any vision round this corner, although it looks like eSuba are down to their left as they come around negative, taking a shot. These Mouse are just going to look for a target, unload their shots, and back off as Annihilator now leads charges, blocking off failware, so they're not keeping their formation as they come around here, and failware's having to keep an eye down the opposite road from them. Yeah, so far eSuba is actually doing well to hold off the GoHard aggression, but the thing is, though, they're still down in HP. They've been trading equal the entire time, and equal so far is a victory in GoHard's book. So they need to make, they don't need to make a play, but they need to win a trade at least, because Overus kind of out in the open there by himself. He needs to go forward to go save, and it's, again, just extending this lead step by step. This is the thing about taking Mouse here on Ghost Town. You can just trade with some of the other teams so well because you just have so much HP to try and break through and try those angles. Some really nice shots here from Andrew into Kaizu there in the Foch B, taking a good bit of damage there as Andrew backs off now to reload his 50B.
Well, now what's going to happen again, GoHard is going to go back onto the gap. eSuba was actually very ready for this. Combat should be reclimbing because Afar and Stefan are going to park themselves onto the cap. And Combat in the meantime hopefully is climbing. He does have that dead driver, but he can still make it with that one. If he gets back up, depends on how much heat he has. That 5A isn't easy peasy for him. And that IS-7 is also not super difficult, but he did fail it.
He did fail it, yep. He's looping around again. You can see him on the mini-map, setting up his approach to A2, where he's going to try and climb up. You can see him in the distance there. You know, he's backed off again. He's not doing it. He's coming towards the cap now instead.
That's interesting. Well, then it's going to have to be on Froley to reset. In the meantime, the Mouses are going to push from GoHard, though. So
Mouse is coming around the back. Annihilator taking damage. He gets himself ammo racked as well as he leads the push. Froley being focused now down onto a one-shot. Unji now getting shot at as well, taking a bit of damage. He's pretty much on a two-shot. There's Annihilator, takes another hit. Looks like he's a frontline tank for his team. Combat coming in trying to get a reset. We're down to 10 seconds. He's shooting at Stefan. He's missed. Combat doesn't have a clip to put out. We're down to 7 seconds on the cap circle. Combat is up to him, but he's dead. He can't do anything to reset. GoHard, they're going to get the cap here. There's no reset coming from eSuba, and it's going to be first round of Ghost Town going to GoHard.
GoHard poking here and there, taking an advantage, taking some more advantage. That was well played by them. But really, like that driver on Combat, if that doesn't happen, if Combat doesn't have a dead driver, he's going to be sitting on that A1 position and he could actually reset. Because now what happens is Combat is probably saying, I have a dead driver. I'm not sure if I can actually do the climb like 100% of the time. And as soon as he fails it, it's like, I failed it. Like, I don't have time.
So sluggish as well.
Yeah,
so,
but the thing is, what this causes is the fact that you don't want to be sitting like at that corner when there's 3 Mouses on the other corner, because Froley was spotting the cap or trying to reset it because Combat couldn't. Combat couldn't anymore. So Froley on low HP is sitting on that corner. So what happens is GoHard pushes forward, comes around the corner, kills that 5A instantly. You with the lineup from eSuba versus the lineup from GoHard, eSuba wants to draw them out as much as they can. They want to draw them around corners into the open so the 5As can peek from here, peek from there, and make those trades. Now, if they have to commit to decapping, you see what happens. Combat dies for free, Froley dies for free. It's just a progression from that point on. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think eSuba really had the best of plans in this round. They seem to have a rough idea, but there were so many spontaneous decisions. What it seemed like, well, GoHard was like, we do this first, then we do this. Now we do this.
Methodical approach.
And now we do this. And, okay, we go back onto the cap. Well, eSuba was more like all over the place. But I do believe eSuba can pick up a Ghost Town attack, though.
Yeah, I mean, it could be going 4-4 here. We could be going into tiebreaker. But again, I mean, the Mouse showing its strength, even though it has been nerfed, it has lost a bit of HP.
It's still an all-round good tank, though.
It's still great for city maps. That's the thing.
It is. It's all-round still a very strong tank. It's just not. It just doesn't butchers everything that it meets anymore.
Yeah, it's not as powerful as it was. Now teams are going to swap sides. We're going to see GoHard defending. We're going to see eSuba on the attack. eSuba with the fancy white and blue camouflage, and GoHard with the black and purple camouflage. Leopard 1 coming out here for
Well,
GoHard.
Leopard 1 can obviously do the same thing what the AMX30 used to do. Leopard 1, you know, great soft stats, amazing. It's a good sniper though. Like on the back line, it can be very well. And I'm guessing GoHard's like, nah, we don't want the AMX30B, like the accuracy, the penetration, the shell speed. Let's just go with the Leo instead and make sure that we can pin those shots. And that Leo, it can do the job, but it's a tank out of the fight. It will always be a tank out of the fight.
We've seen tanks from this position come back into the battle though and do like significant amounts of damage. It'd be interesting to see if Zafar. I mean, it was Zafarchik actually. It was MVP on this map before coming round, and I think a backchat AP doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Stefan getting vision here onto Froley. Pratlicek blocking his view. Stefan's already moved over, so he doesn't know Pratlicek is behind him. As Kaizu shot out and is immediately going on reload with these T57 heavy.
Yeah, the T57 has such a slow, low reload that it allows you to just press reload. You miss a shot, you press reload. In no time, you'll be reloaded again. So far, eSuba just wants to bully their way into this side of the map. They've pushed Froley forwards in the IS-7. The rest of the team is just covering. Stefan is obviously playing against them, so they need to be careful with that because it's Stefan in the end of the day. And Coca Collapse here is in a very strong position for that 5A. And these mouses, if they're going to keep trading with him, I think he might actually come out on top.
And this is interesting here from GoHard because they're trying to get a, come down here on eSuba, a bit like a hand kind of gripping onto something the way the team's lined up here. It's almost like a pincer movement. They're keeping them blocked in down to the bottom half of the map.
Well, Stefan peeks out. That was close. I wouldn't try that again.
Almost a Tamoza trade there.
I would not try that again if I was him. But, GoHard is starting to take some control around the map. They are starting to get closer towards eSuba. It's a good thing, though. If you can control eSuba in the area that they're in currently, they really don't do much. Like, what can they do? They can just sit there. For 8 minutes, they sit there, do nothing. It's almost like, having 2 marks on your AMX 50B. You just don't do anything.
Everyone has to have 2 marks at some point on their way to 3 marks, though, Dake.
Yeah, but some people have it longer than others.
Longer than others, yeah. Okay. Now, for GoHard on the defending team, for them to win, the clock timer needs to either hit 0 without eSuba capping, or they need to kill everyone. eSuba, as the attacking team, need to cap base 1 or base 2, or they need to kill everyone in GoHard. If the map timer runs out to 0, then that's a win for the defending team. So the defender team always has time on their side, and they can sometimes play about to that, but have to be very careful.
The next move, like eSuba, I don't think they can push this. Like, to get across this, they would have to cross J line. We've seen what happened to Safa when he tried it at the grand finals. What? It's true though. We saw what happened when
you're getting all the digs in tonight, aren't you? You're pulling no punches.
What? I'm just it's like showing an example. Team efficiency tried to push across the J line with 2 batch shots, and I think they did a grand total of 2 shots combined. So I don't think that is something they can really push, but GoHard has taken some more distance now. They're letting them come towards them. But this kind of allows, for one thing though, this allows something for here for eSuba if you pay attention. The 3-4 line is kind of open. Negative is kind of isolated. If they push with those 50Bs, like we've seen a lot of teams do, that is an isolation over there.
And what we're seeing there on the screen was negative stats so far across all matches. So doing a bit of damage for his team, but kind of a player you'd expect to be doing a bit more damage so far.
He's very new to the team, though. We don't really know how that is going to work out. I just want to see if eSuba does actually take the bait here, if it is a bait for the 3-4 line push. But it seems like the 50Bs... No, actually, they are moving towards Froley and Pratelicek. I do think they're going to go for it. They're lined up for it. I think they will just push forward. But the thing is, there's Failware, Kaizu, Stefan, 3 clippers that are going to come behind them super quickly. Like, they're going to be, like, in there within 5 seconds.
Stefan spotted out by Combat, Pratelicek and Froley moving
here we go.
Here. Just waiting on Kaizu running around the back. Negative is going to be focused fire by the IS-7 here and the WZ, so it's 2 shots going into him. There's a miss there, though, as Negative is able to limp away around the corner. Pratelicek to get a bit of damage in the back. Here comes the autoloaders coming around the corner, as you predicted, Dake. But look at this push coming in from eSuba over the middle as well. Yeah,
in the meantime, GoHard is actually pushing from behind as well, though. Stefan, Kaizu coming in there with their autoloaders, trying to get something out of the game. They already removed Pratelicek. Froley is going to be the next one for them. That's those autoloaders coming into effect. But so far, it's a very even trade. I mean, Failware goes down for this. So eSuba still has Froley alive. Unji now coming in as well. That's the thing. I think eSuba is actually winning in this one.
eSuba are coming out on top. Indeed, Pratelicek is dropped for them. He's in the WZ. They've lost Froley in their IS-7. Now in return, GoHard have lost a 113. They've lost a T57 Heavy, and they've lost the AMX 50B. AMX 50B, one of their prime damage dealers. Stefan in the bat chat is now being focused down as well. So Farchek taking some damage as well.
Ooh, Stefan just got double teamed.
Trade for trade at the moment as Andrew finally kills Stefan, but Annihilator still has a lot of HP to play on his side. He has a huge amount of HP to be able to play with right now.
I'm sad we didn't see Stefan getting double teamed by 2 50Bs. I do hope we can show that at one point because that was amazing. But yeah, eSuba, the thing is they killed the tank first, right? They removed the tank first, so so they came in first. They got negative. GoHard seemed ready for it, but then again, when you lose a tank so early, and then those 2 autoloaders that came from behind, Failware actually died for that trade. So, I don't know. They were kind of baiting eSuba, but it feels like they got double baited.
And there we see Zafarchik picking up a kill there as well. As we said, if once he comes down from that position, he can be really influential because he has the mobility to get around. Now Annihilator's trying to face off against two angles as Koga Collapse gets the kill on Combat, and now GoHard are completely in the driver's seat here, Daki.
What just happened?
Well, eSuba just threw away 3 tanks in quick succession.
I'm confused.
Bish bash bosh.
What just happened? How did they throw this?
Don't know. Looking now, left surviving. Koga Collapse picking up the triple kill, and GoHard win the match 5-3.